and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Something's going to give here in the National League Division Series as the Braves host Game 1 in the best-of-5. Tonight's 2013 National League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. The Los Angeles Dodgers, Kings of the West, against the Atlanta Braves, the best of the East, in Game 1 of the National League Division Series. Hey, y'all, I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Cal Ripken. This is Ron Darling. Welcome to Atlanta in Game 1 of the NLDS. Let's talk about the Braves. They got a lot to be proud of. Got 96 wins. Got home field here. They led baseball in home runs. Had the lowest ERA. And they're underdogs in the series. Explain, will you?
Well, maybe it's the star power. Magic Johnson accompanied the Dodgers here to Turner Field. But when you think about the Braves, they've had to make two tough decisions. Dan Uggla, their highest paid player, not on the roster. B.J. Upton, their prized free agent, not in the lineup. But they got Freddie Freeman, who I think is the National League MVP. And they got September's Pitcher of the Month and Chris Medlin going tonight.
Chris Medlin, a Los Angeles area kid who always dreamed of playing for the Dodgers, will try to beat him here in Game 1. The Los Angeles Dodgers season, Cal, very interesting. Don Mattingly, so close to being fired this year. And then they roll off 42 wins in 50 games, and that kind of took care of everything.
I tell you what, I saw them playing early. They looked really bad early on in the season. Then they called up Yasiel Puig. Now, they brought a lot of talent with him, but he also brought this energy with this style of play. Then Hanley Ramirez got healthy, and boy, did he get healthy. He carried the offense all the way through. But this team has great starting pitching, including the guy that's on the mound tonight, Clayton Kershaw, a dominant left-hander, probably will win the Cy Young.
The Los Angeles Dodgers haven't been to the postseason since 2009. The Braves have been there a bunch, but have nothing to show for it since 2001, last time they won a playoff series. It's the National League Division Series from Turner Field in Atlanta, and we can't wait. First pitch on the way. Good night to fly. Nice aerial of Turner Field here in Atlanta. We get set for game one of the National League Division Series. Best of 5 between the Braves and the Dodgers. Absolutely ideal night. 71 degrees, crystal clear. And the umpires meeting with Don Mattingly. And the Braves and Dodgers just about ready to go. Here's tonight's batting order, brought to you by T-Mobile. Carl Crawford leads it off for the Dodgers. Mark Ellis at second. Hanley Ramirez. You heard Cal talk about how he's carried this club this season. Adrian Gonzalez in the cleanup spot. You can't take your eyes off him. Yasiel Puig will bat fifth. And Juan Uribe. Skip Schumacher. A.J. Ellis does the catching. And Clayton Kershaw, the best ERA in baseball, will be the starting pitcher. Defensively, here's the way the Braves will line up as we get it going.
Yeah, let me take this one, Ern.
You can have it, Cal.
Evan Gaddis is playing left field. You got Justin Upton in right, and Jason Hayward is in center field. As we move to the infield, you got Chris Johnson in the corner, Freddie Freeman at first base. You got Simmons and Johnson up the middle. Behind the plate is Brian McCann, and on the mound tonight is Chris Medlin.
And let's get Ron involved here too. Tell me about Chris Medlin there, Ron.
Thanks, guys, for including me. I appreciate it. You said that Medlin's from Los Angeles. Well, Vince Scully, the great announcer, calls him the artist from Artesia, and he was outstanding. 4-0 in September, 1 earned run in 36 innings pitched, and he's going against Clayton Kershaw tonight. His last start, he beat Cliff Lee, the left-hander of the Phillies, 1-0.
It has been the signature move here in Atlanta for many moons. The chop. Back when they were winning the World Series of '95. Before they played in this building. Back at old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The ceremonial first pitch was delivered tonight by Chipper Jones, who was inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame this summer, and is a certain Hall of Famer before it's all over.
Still looks like his arm's in shape.
Well, it was just last year that he called it a career. There's Chris Medlin, who is pumped and ready to go. He's only 5'10" and 190 pounds. But he's got a lot of bulldog in him, and he's got an edge. Not your laid-back California guy. He will go after you. And the Atlanta Braves take the field. It has been one of those years for this team that's been great from the start. They got out of the gate with 12 wins and 1 loss. They were out of first place for 1 day. And they built a huge lead going into September. They were up 15 games over Washington. Saw that trim to 8, but were really never in serious trouble. And then it was a battle with the Cardinals down the stretch as to who would have home field throughout the National League. And they came up a game short against the Cardinals, who you saw earlier today really put the lumber to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And there is Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez.
Said the toughest thing he ever had to do as a manager was call Dan Uggla into his office and inform him that he was not going to be on the division roster.
Says it's one thing, and it's always tough in spring training when you have to break the news to somebody. You're not going to make the big club, or you've had a good spring, but we're going to start you down there. And he said it was nothing like having to break that news to Dan Uggla, a guy he goes back to his Marlins days as a manager with.
Uggla said he is going to take batting practice, stay with the team, stay hot in case they need him if they make it through, and also travel with the team to give support to his teammates.
Because, as you know, the rosters can be adjusted from series to series. What are we going to see from Chris Medlin tonight?
What aren't you going to see? Medlin has as many pitches as anyone in the game. You can see throws his fastball about 60% of the time. You'll see a lot of breaking balls and a lot of changeups. He'll also use that fastball in the left-handed hitters to try to strike them out. Almost Mr. Automatic here at Turner Field. Last 6 home starts, 6-0 with a 0.85 ERA.
We are ready to go. the NLDS in Atlanta. Carl Crawford steps in and takes outside. We're underway in Atlanta. Count even to the ball and a strike as the Beat LA chant goes up.
Very appropriate since Magic Johnson's in the building. That's something you'd hear a lot at Boston Garden.
Yeah, you think he's heard that a few times in his life.
I'm watching very early on how the hitters react to the changeup. Changeup, such an important pitch for Medlin. You want to see if they're out in front of it. Does it have that good action going down and away from the lefty? And that was a good example right there. He cued the ball off the end of the bat.
A ball and 2 strikes to the Dodgers leadoff hitter. He goes down swinging. 1 down.
There's your changeup, Cal.
Now, changeup's normally not a strikeout pitch unless you have a really good one. Here's the ball coming up and showing that little tail. Very deceptive. Looks just like a fastball until you go to swing at it.
You know, he's not a soft tossing pitcher, but you almost have to treat him like a little lefty that you try to go the other way. You got to try to go to left field if you're a left-handed hitter.
Well, Tom Glavine comes to mind when I think about this ballpark. That was the approach that I had off of him. I tried to go out and take the outside corner away and really look for the off-speed pitch and really fight off that fastball.
Ronnie, we watch Medlin and see him all the way over on that corner of the rubber.
He's trying to own the outside corner on the right-handed hitters, and that would be the inside corner on the lefties. He needs to be on the corners all night long to battle against Kershaw.
Most pitchers have a favorite side of the plate, don't they? Regardless of where they put their feet.
I walked a lot of people early in my career. I went right down the middle, just hoping it would have a chance to catch the plate.
A 1-1. Again, tantalizing 78 miles an hour. And Medlin ahead in the count, 1-2. Ellis hit 270 this year. 6 home runs, 48 ribbies. 2 up, 2 down, both Ks.
Curveballs to get ahead, fastball when he was ahead. You see the grip, changing it from the changeup to the 2 fingers on top of the fastball for a 4-seam rider.
Well, here's Hanley Ramirez, who got hurt during the World Baseball Classic. Started the year on the disabled list. Takes a strike.
As a third baseman, he got hurt. Diving for a ball.
There's ligament damage in the right thumb. Didn't play till April 29th, and then only briefly, then went on the DL again in early June. Limited to 86 games this year, but he made the most of it. Hit .345 with 20 home runs and 57 runs batted in. And he was a handful for anybody. One ball and 2 strikes to Hanley Ramirez, and this is his postseason debut. Played over 1,000 games in the major leagues and never been on this stage.
There's many different approaches that hitters use on 2 strikes. I like to look for the off-speed pitches and then try to fight the fastball off and try to recognize. Most hitters, though, will hit off the fastball. And so if you lean out there at all, you're susceptible to the breaking ball and the changeup.
Ramirez works a full count.
That's a good call by Hunter Wendelstadt. The home plate umpire starts outside, just off the corner away.
The ball tails back. Our hitters, we'd like to say that ball went around the plate. It was awfully close.
A 1-2-3 first. Nobody put it in play. Back here in Atlanta, heading to the bottom half of the first inning. And thanks a lot for being with us here tonight on TBS. Tonight's batting order brought to you by T-Mobile. Jason Hayward, Justin Upton, and Freddie Freeman, an MVP candidate, hits third. Great story of Evan Gattis, one of the feel-good stories in baseball this year. He hits cleanup. Then it's Brian McCann, Chris Johnson, who battled down the stretch for the National League batting title and finished second. Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, then Elliott Johnson and Chris Medlin. And the tall task in front of him, Clayton Kershaw.
The tall Texan. Think about these last 3 years. 21-5 in 2011, Cy Young. Finished second in the Cy Young last year to R.A. Dickey. Probably is going to win it this year. Numbers off the planet. 1.83 ERAs. Now led the National League 3 years in a row in ERA.
At some point, he's going to stop getting better, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe not.
Each and every year seems to be a little better.
He will face Jason Hayward here in the bottom half of the first. You'll notice that Hayward's got the helmet on that has the protective flap in front to protect his jaw. He was hit by a pitch there by John Neese of the Mets. Went to the disabled list. Earlier this year he had appendicitis. All kind of stuff going on with Hayward. Played 104 games. And he's flourished in the spot he's at tonight, the leadoff spot. Here's the incident with Neese.
I still cringe every time I see it.
Well, thankful you could hear the sound. I think it got part of the helmet as well.
Kershaw ahead. They'll say that a lot tonight. That up high, a ball and 2 strikes.
Kershaw flaunts his fastball. He says, here it is. I'm coming after you. Be ready.
Especially the first time through the lineup.
And Hayward goes down swinging. Eventually, someone is going to put the ball in play tonight. Seen 4 hitters. They've all struck out. And here is Justin Upton.
Well, you see the pitch arsenal for Clayton Kershaw. Fastball 60% of the time, like Medlin. Breaking ball, he has 2 types. The big, huge curveball and that little slider he threw to Hayward for the strikeout. Occasionally dabbles in an occasional changeup out there.
The pitch arsenal presented by Chevrolet. Justin Upton takes a strike, 0-1. Upton with 27 home runs, knocked in 70. He gets a start tonight, his brother not starting. Ron, you made reference to that as we came on the air. Not only Dan Uggla not making the NLDS roster, B.J. Upton's on there, but not in the starting lineup.
There's that big hook you were talking about, 76 miles an hour. Breaks big, straight down.
For a big man, Kershaw does not take a exceptionally long stride. So it allows him to get right on top of that curveball, and it just continues to break. That's as good a spin as anyone in the game.
The 1-2. Braves led the National League in strikeouts, 1,384, about 8.5 a game. So they led the National League in home runs, led it in strikeouts. It's the old feast or famine coming into play. And the count even 2-2 to Justin Upton, who struck out a career high 161 times.
It's become more fashionable to accept the strikeout, but there gets a point where...
And that irks you too, doesn't it, Iron Man?
Yes, it does. You have a chance if you put the ball in play. Now, of course, if you have some speed, that makes a lot more sense for you to make contact. You don't want to give up your swing so much because you still want to be dangerous for 2 strikes. But there is a point where you want to give yourself a chance by making contact.
Three balls, 2 strikes, and here he comes. The 26-year-old Upton stays alive. He's the younger brother of B.J.
Put a good swing on that fastball, right on it.
This is the kind of at-bat I'd like in the first at-bat. You get to see all his pitches, breaking ball that's in the dirt. I saw a little slider, now the fastball. I foul one off, I get another chance. Now I feel like I know what he has.
He has far and away the most at-bats against Clayton Kershaw on this Atlanta roster. 29. But he's just 3 for 29. 103.
You're talking about 2 aggressive personalities here. Kershaw 3-2. I'm not going to trick you. Here it is. Let's see if he can hit this high fastball. That's your strength. It's my strength too.
He is so dominant that there's a roar every time Upton fouls one back to extend the at-bat. Right back at him. 2 up and 2 down. Cal, you want to take me through that Dodger defense?
Yeah, there's the defense behind Clayton Kershaw. You got some good legs in the outfield. Carl Crawford, Skip Schumacher, and Yasiel Puig. I'm dying to see his arm because he's got a great arm.
Oh, he's dying to show it to you.
Ron Uribe's playing third. Hanley Ramirez is short. Mark Ellis and Adrian Gonzalez manning first base. Behind the plate is A.J. Ellis, and on the mound is Clayton Kershaw.
Who faces Freddie Freeman, who fouls it back.
And he's coming out swinging. He does have a home run off him. I think he's had a little success. Not a big sample size, though.
1 for 2, but that one is a homer. And when you go through that Dodger defense, you'll notice that Skip Schumacher's the center fielder. Matt Kent's out for the entire postseason. Andre Ethier available as a pinch hitter. He's had some shin splints on the left side. There's some pain on the outside of his left ankle. And he's able to run straight, but can't make turns at this point, so only a pinch hitting role.
Last time the Dodgers won a World Series, they had a guy on the bench that couldn't run very well on the bases either.
I just got a text from Dennis Eckersley. There's the 1-2. Freeman has really come into his own in the last few seasons. And this year, 319 was number 3 in the National League, hit 23 home runs, and tied with Jay Bruce, second in RBIs with 109 behind Paul Goldschmidt. Here comes a 1-2. And a 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Kershaw. May be like this for a while. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Turner Field, which opened in 1997 amidst a $1 million promotion for any player who could hit a ball off the Coca-Cola bottle high above the roof in left field. Now, legend has it that Dodgers hitting coach Mark McGwire came the closest, landing a shot just below the cow's feet Now, McGuire says you can watch batting practice. You don't know Yasiel Puig's in the plate by looking at the cage. You know it by the sound of the bat. By the way, based on my parabolic math, I say 460 feet from home plate out to the top of the roof, 80 feet in the air, 105 miles off the bat, optimum angle 45 degrees. You'd have to hit a ball about 555 feet to hit this bottle. Guys, I think I'm safe.
Thanks, Professor. You lost me at math. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, who swings and misses at the first offering from Chris Medlin. Medlin struck out the side in the first. Gonzalez appearing in the postseason for the first time since 2006. Had so many good years with the San Diego Padres and able to hit to all fields. You almost forget that that's not where he began his career. Broke in with the Texas Rangers back in 2004. Hit that ball well, and it's tailing just a bit, but Jason Hayward hauls it in for the first out. We talked about Medlin and the fact that he's got a little edge to him. The Braves have won 5 out of 7 from the Dodgers, and folks would say, yeah, but you missed out on Kershaw. He said, we missed him twice this year, both times we played, but I think our team, the confidence that we have, maybe he missed us.
Well, Kershaw's got 4 starts against Atlanta. He's never beaten them. His ERA's good, 2.45. But I think what it tells you more about what's inside Chris Medlin. He's a guy that probably been told his whole life, shortstop in JUCO, that he could never pitch in the major leagues because he's only 5'10" tall. So you have to have that kind of confidence, and he does.
All right, here he is, Yasiel Puig. And what a splash. He has meant so much to this team from an energy standpoint and a production standpoint. But his love of the game and the all-out way he plays was really infectious on this team at a time when they needed it, when they were struggling in June.
There's been a lot of players in the past that had that sort of effect. I started to think of Kirby Puckett, right off the top of my head, smiling all the time, running out every ball, trying to take that extra base. He plays with reckless abandon, and that sometimes is a problem. You want to kind of pull him back just a little bit, but the type of player he is, you also want to let him go. So it's a tough task for Donnie Mattingly.
That's a ground ball up the middle for a single, and you have got to be aware, and Jason Hayward was. He charged hard in center field to keep Puig to a single.
Well, that's the thing about Yasiel Puig, is that they're playing him to pull. It's a simple ground ball up the middle, but almost on any game, on any given day, Hayward kind of Cadillacs in and gets that ball, but he cannot with Puig running.
First base runner of the game. And it's the guy that Don Mattingly referred to in spring training as a wild horse. And they have spent the better part of the season trying to rein him in at least a touch, because he's been known to run through a few stop signs, try to take the extra base when it was ill-advised. But he does so many good things for your team, too. It's almost the trade-off that you take.
Mattingly now the horse whisperer.
I think the base running doesn't bother Don as much, because there is a philosophy that says let's put pressure on the defense. And he certainly does put pressure. But what bothers him is missing the cutoff and throwing the ball really high and letting the back runner get into scoring position.
Uribe takes a strike.
Signs by Mattingly. Medlin, one of the best right-handers in the game and keeping runners close. He has an outstanding move to first, very quick feet. There's Tim Waller, third base coach.
Puig has stolen 11 bags as Medlin throws over. He's been caught 8 times. And he's got one of the best in the business to learn from in Davey Lopes, the first base coach of the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think he's the best in the business. He sees things, small little subtle things that a pitcher does to tip that he's going to throw either to first base or to throw to home. He always could read pitchers, and he can teach that. So, yes, Yasiel is obviously still in the learning phase. He's a big man, but he's a fast guy, too. He's going to steal some bases.
Again, he throws over. Again, Puig scampers back.
Those are the little intricacies of the game, though. He's going back not on his belly. I mean, you don't want that play to be close, and he's making it close.
To the plate with the 1-1, and Medlin ahead, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, when you have a guy with a good move, sometimes you set him up by not taking a big lead. Kind of lull him into a feeling that I'm not going to run. You're so good at the move. You've taken the running game away from me, and then maybe you get a walking lead and take off.
You're right about Medlin too, Cal. He's got a quick little move over there, and those plays have been close.
Yeah, but no signs of really running.
Well hit, base hit. Puig around second, and he's motoring to third, and he'll be in without a throw.
Difference maker. We're talking about a handful of guys in all of the major leagues that go first to third on that ball.
Unbelievable. Watching it, he hesitates to think that the line drive might be caught. So many times you say, I got no chance to go to third. But he made up the distance and then cut the bag really well at second base.
And fewer than a handful go first to third without a throw from center field.
That was impressive.
And here's Skip Schumacher. Runners at the corners with 1 out here in the second. In the air to center field. Hayward positions himself. Puig with the tag. Throw to the plate. Will be offline, and the Dodgers lead it 1-0.
There are times when you shouldn't make that throw. And early in the ball game right here, you can't let Uribe get to second base.
We talked at the beginning of this game that Yasiel Puig was going to be the one to overthrow the cutoff man. But it's the first mistake defensively, and Atlanta has a history in the postseason lately of defensive mistakes committed by Hayward in center field.
So a run in, 2 down, and a runner in scoring position. That's Uribe at second. And here's A.J. Ellis, the Dodger catcher. So Medlin struck out the side in the first. Got the leadoff hitter Gonzalez here in the second. And back-to-back singles by Puig and Uribe, and a sacrifice fly by Schumacher. And the Dodgers on the board. Ellis takes a strike, 1-1. You always wonder how big that first run is in a game. And you think about it even more when you've got Clayton Kershaw, who was given that run here early in the game. A little tight. It's Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. Marvin Hudson, the umpire, at first. John Hirschbeck at second. Bill Miller at third. And down the lines, Tim Welke in left and Laz Diaz in right. Pitch and a beauty. 2-2.
You see a lot of times in the National League during the summer that an 8th place hitter is walked to face the pitcher. You can't do that with Kershaw. He's got 10 RBIs this year, the most of any pitcher in the National League. So you have to go after Ellis.
Medlin trying to limit the damage here in the second. Ellis to left. Gaddis with a long run, and he cannot make the play. That ball will roll toward the wall. And Ellis at second with a double. And the Dodgers lead it 2-0.
Toughest part of the game, Cal, is try to hide people defensively anytime, but especially in the postseason. You want Gaddis' bat in the lineup, but he doesn't have the speed to get to this baseball. I should take that back. He did get there. He just missed it.
Double and an RBI for A.J. Ellis, the number 8 hitter. And it's 2-0. And here's Kershaw, who can handle the bat.
It's a tribute to Evan that he can go out there and play. He's a catcher.
Tapper to first by Kershaw. who does not care. He's got a 2-run lead to work with as he heads to the bottom half of the second. MLB Network, your home for 2 Division Series games tomorrow. You can see the wild card winning Pittsburgh Pirates take on the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 2 of their NLDS series. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 Central, exclusively on MLB Network. And the Pirates hoping to bounce back because St. Louis jumped them in the opener today. 7 runs in the third. 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors, 1-3-3 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Garrett Cole and Lance Lynn pitching tomorrow. Here in Atlanta, top half of the second, a productive one for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They give Clayton Kershaw a couple of runs to work with.
Well, in his shutdown innings, it's the only mark that you can find that is not a positive one for Kershaw. His ERA, 3.32. It's a run and a half more than his regular season ERA in a shutdown inning. The only stat I could find that's not great for Clayton.
I wouldn't have expected that.
Evan Gattis comes up empty, 0-1. Gattis led all NL rookies when the RBI department was 65. He homered 21 times in 105 games. Down low, a ball and a strike. And his story, one of the most fascinating and one of those feel-good stories, because he was supposed to go to Texas A&M, great high school player, and then there were issues with depression and substance abuse. He went to rehab, dropped out of baseball totally, then held a number of jobs from parking valet as he pops this one over first. Long run for 3 Dodgers and nobody can corral it. And Gattis is on with a bloop single. First hit for the Braves.
You couldn't have placed it any better than that. Full swing, jam it down the right field line. 3 guys have a chance to catch it, but none of them can.
I think that if Puig had picked up that ball, he was going to run and try to tag Gaddis out.
We're talking about Gaddis and the time away from baseball. He's a parking valet. He's making pizza. He's a ski lift operator. He's a janitor, and then returns to baseball in 2010. Braves draft him. He makes his debut here in 13 after playing winter ball in Venezuela, where he earned his nickname, which is the White Bear, El Oso Blanco. And he can hit a ball a country mile, that kid. Here's Brian McCann.
It's always interesting to watch pitchers when they go on the stretch. Remember, the great Mike Mussina would have his distinctive way of getting in the stretch. Well, Kershaw's reaching to the heavens.
Two balls and 1 strike to the Atlanta catcher. Field, but it's not going to carry. Puig falls and makes the play for the first out.
Brian McCann had never in the regular season batted against Clayton Kershaw. That was his first at bat and just missed it.
I think he just hit it a little fat, a little bit close to the label. Clayton Kershaw, his ball jumps on you. He's got good velocity, but he also has that hesitation in his motion that's very deceptive to the hitter.
Now Chris Johnson steps in. Johnson does have a few at-bats against Kershaw, but just 1 out of 12. He came over to the Braves in that deal with Justin Upton, the Prado deal, and he was kind of like the other guy. And he turned into a guy who almost won the National League batting crown. Second to Michael Kadire. The 0-1. Had to muscle it into right. And there's the play by Puig, and for some reason, Gaddis was nearly standing on second and is easily doubled off. Braves have had a defensive lapse. They've had a base running lapse. And they're in a 2-0 hole. Even Puig surprised. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Top half of the third. Dodgers on top 2-0 in the top of the order. Back up there to face Chris Medlin. Carl Crawford struck out his first time and takes a strike.
You know, guys, you don't like to feel like this as a starting pitcher because it's kind of defeatist attitude. But you have to feel like you can't give up any more runs here with Kershaw on the other side.
To second, off the glove of Elliott Johnson. And Crawford is aboard. That's a hit. Fourth of the night for the Dodgers.
Well, one of the things we talked about, Cal, early on was Uggla not being on the roster. Both you and I thought that he should be, not only because of his ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but because he's become a pretty good second baseman. That was not an easy play for Johnson, but one that I'm thinking he would like to make there.
Here's Mark Ellis, strikeout victim his first time.
I was thinking more on the 0-2 pitch. You know, he didn't bury the changeup enough. Gave up a line drive. That's a tough play for any second baseman. And I agree there should be ruled a hit.
As it was. Although we did see one the other night in Pittsburgh. Hot shot that was ruled an E6.
That's right. Well, there's a lot you can do with Mark Ellis. He's a guy that can hit and run with. Carl Crawford's 8 for 8 in stolen base attempts in the postseason. You can run him.
But again, getting back, standing up, that kind of tells you that, you know, maybe they're not running. And it's not a big enough lead.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of respect for his move to first, and there's a lot of respect for his times to home. So it almost seems like they're not going to run.
Crawford is not the stolen base guy that he was when he was in Tampa Bay. He's kind of slowed it down a little bit. He's had numerous injuries that have curtailed some of his seasons.
I love to watch someone with speed and his kind of speed on a triple. Because once they start rolling, they really cover the distance in the ground really fast. That is odd, though, isn't it? Going back feet first.
And he almost had a misstep there as he kind of slid off the base with his left foot and had to tap on it with his right.
And there he goes. Rounder foul into the Dodger dugout.
Hits the base a little funny. Turn an ankle that way. You know, that one you don't know if it's a straight steal or a hit and run. And so as a shortstop, I want to find that out because I want to know what the strategy was. Did they put a play on or not? So I'd have to ask in some point of the game either Carl Crawford or Ellis about the hit and run to see if I can get some information.
Count stays at 1-2. Good look at Don Mattingly and talk about players making their postseason debuts. And here's his first night on the top step as the manager in the postseason. And we mentioned as we came on the air how dangerously close he was to losing his job in June this year. And then all of a sudden, here it comes. 50 games, you win 42 of them, and nobody really challenged the rest of the season.
That's an unbelievable run. 42-8. I remember when the Tigers went 35-5 out of the gate. It felt like the season was over. We were just too far behind.
In the air behind second. Johnson squeezes it for the first out.
You know what's interesting? When we were in Pittsburgh with the Reds playing the Pirates, we asked Dusty Baker about postseason managing. He said he tries to slow the game down. You asked the same question to Don Mattingly. He said, I know things are going to come quick. I've got to be ready to act.
Dusty has a lot of experience, you know, and so the game can start to dictate, and he probably doesn't have to sit in his office and go over the hypotheticals. Don Mattingly thinks a lot, and so he does understand it happens quicker, and that he might have to have a quicker hook and make a decision, put out those fires. Ordinarily, you might want to stretch them out during the regular season. He understands the urgency of postseason.
Ramirez swings at the first pitch and taps it foul. Ramirez with just loads of talent. In 2009 was the National League batting champ when he hit 342. 345 this year, but in just 86 games because of all the injuries. But man, when he is in there, capable of carrying a ball club.
Those signs that you're seeing right there are signs of throw over or maybe pitch out.
Step off.
There's a lot of possibilities, but that's to control the running game, and that looks like it's coming from Freddie.
The next catcher himself.
I think that's where the game's changed a little bit too, because a lot of times the catchers would take that responsibility themselves. But now that more and more that signal is coming from the bench.
Ran it inside and missed.
The universal sign for a pitch out is the fist. And I thought that I'd seen that just a second ago. And managers usually call that, unless the manager has a really good sense and a good confidence in that catcher. That usually comes from the bench.
The Dodgers stole 78 bags this year, 7th in the National League, and Crawford had 15 to lead them. There's your pitch out. Nothing happening.
This is great to watch the two managers, their coaching staffs, trying to counter each other. Medlin's only allowed 2 stolen bases his last 20 starts, so that tells you how good he is at holding runners.
2-1. Tap towards second. Johnson hurries and gets him for the second out. Crawford moves to second. So here's the Dodger cleanup hitter, Adrian Gonzalez. Another steady, solid year with 100 RBIs.
Agon's always been a 2-out RBI machine. 303 in 2011, 338 in 2012. He's hitting 356 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Which would be the situation we are in right now, with Crawford leading from second. In the air to center field. Pretty well hit. Hayward back to the track, and that ball is gone. Adrian Gonzalez with a 2-out, 2-run homer. And the Dodgers lead it 4-0.
Right after you gave that stat, Cal, 356, I'm thinking to myself, he gets a changeup, he sits on it. No one better in Major League sitting on a certain pitch and delivering a big blow. You had a base open. I'm not saying you pitch around him, but you got a hitter Puig behind him who will go out of the strike zone, making it a little easier to get him out.
You know, patterns are everything for a hitter like Agon. He started him off with a changeup the first time up. He's a good off-speed hitter. He went up there and sat on a changeup and got it.
Here's Puig swinging at the first pitch, and that is up the middle for a hit. He rounds first and will trot back. Always got to be ready with the wild horse. Another look at Gonzalez going to straightaway center.
Is anyone going to have a shot at that? It was Hayward, all six of them.
Now here's one of those stats that if you're a Braves fan watching tonight, you'd rather not hear. Since 2011, the Dodgers 35-0 when the Dodgers score at least 4 runs and Kershaw's on the mound. It is 4-0 as we play in the third.
Put your hands over your ears kind of deal right there.
Maybe do one of those warnings. Look, if you don't want to hear this, as Uribe flies to center, this one stays in the park. But the Dodgers add 2 more runs in the third. Adrian Gonzalez got it all. 4-zip. Know what's coming back in 2014? MLB Fan Cave. Players, celebrities, concerts, and more. And you can be part of next season's team. You go to MLBFancave.com and apply right now. Bottom half of the third inning. Turner Field in Atlanta, where the Dodgers, with Clayton Kershaw on the mound, leading 4-0. Andrelton Simmons will lead it off.
Here's your stat again, Ernie, just to rub it in.
Not me, not my stat, and not me rubbing it in. I tell you something, when you look at Kershaw's numbers this year, and there were times, we had him a few times on our Sunday game of the week. You look at the month of July when this guy is really dialed in. Another strike to the Braves shortstop, 1-2. In the month of July, pitched 47 innings, 8 games, 43 strikeouts, 2 walks. Ron Darling, 2 walks in a month.
When you look at his stats from the season, he pitched 236 innings. That's unheard of in today's game. And gave up 164 hits. It's dominance.
2-2.
That is an amazing stat because most time when you look at a starting pitcher, if they're even with hits and innings pitched, they're good. Now, relievers sometimes will have a little bit more of lopsided numbers, but starters, never this lopsided.
That's Rick Honeycutt, an ex-teammate of mine who's developed into one of the better pitching coaches in baseball.
Fouled off. 3-2. You know, Rick Honeycutt went to the University of Tennessee, Ron. I went to the University of Georgia. And as I so often have told you, I walked on as a freshman and was told to walk off as a sophomore. But Rick Honeycutt does not remember me as a Georgia Bulldog.
He doesn't.
I was just stunned. I was the guy sitting on the far end of the bench. 3-2. Ran it inside and missed. And a leadoff walk to Andrelton Simmons. And here's Elliott Johnson, the Braves' second baseman. And I know both of you guys have talked about he's starting at second base. I know you've talked about Uggla and maybe not seeing exactly what the Braves were doing, but when you look at Uggla's numbers, you don't see that happening. The ball bounces away and easily Simmons advances to second. Uggla hit 179 and 137 with runners in scoring position. Actually had LASIK surgery here late in the season. Did you see the thinking?
Well, yeah, you look at it production, and you want to replace that, and you don't want to let your feelings get in the way. You kind of want to look at it just for what it is. But I can't help but let my feelings get in the way. He's been there a long time. He is a hitter that can produce a home run right away.
He did have 22 in the regular season, third on the team.
And I like that sort of guy on the bench. Yeah, if it's performance, then let's not start him. But the season is over, and many times you clean the slate. And now this could be an opportunity where he could contribute. He's been there all year. He's been a part of this great team. So to me, maybe it's a little empathy. I'd like to think it's a little baseball too.
Johnson is thrown out 5-3. Simmons stays at second.
Nothing against Elliott Johnson, but the feast or famine Atlanta Braves have lived and then died with the home run all season long. Would you rather have Elliott Johnson at the plate or Dan Uggla with 4 at-bats and a chance to hit a ball out of the ballpark? That's where I see it. They've done it all year that way, and now to try to change it in the postseason seems counterproductive.
I mean, the eye issue is a real issue, and that could explain the low batting average. And by having the surgery, he didn't have a chance really to get a lot of at-bats. So again, that's a smaller sample size. Only 60 at-bats after the surgery, and only 8 hits. So it's like my start in the big leagues. I was 7 for 68. What's that work out to be? 128.
And back then they didn't even have LASIK.
They didn't check my eyes too.
Here's Chris Medlin. Kind of a rare breed, the switch hitting pitcher. Kershaw misses badly there, 2-0. Talk about Medlin and his California roots. And he went deep from the left side of the plate back in June. Much as he got to second, he wasn't really sure if that ball had been caught or if he could touch them all, and he did. He had always wanted to play for the Dodgers, saw himself as an infielder, and in JUCO he was shortstop and a closer. Kershaw to deliver a 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
Happens to the great ones. A little loss of concentration for the first part of this inning.
Taking all the way, it's 3-1. Medlin just 1 for 13 from the right side. With a pretty good cut, count full.
There's a tendency when you fall behind 4-0, the mindset of the hitter is let's get some runs back in a hurry. But it's much better to stay within yourself, hit a line drive, pick up one here and there. You don't have to get them all back at one time.
Simmons the runner at second with 1 out. Jason Hayward on deck. And Medlin waits on a 3-2. Stays alive.
Unless you're the pitcher and you're at the plate with a 3-1 or 3-2 count, then you want to get them all back at once. I'll qualify that. He's taking some really good swings.
Swing hard in case you hit it, Cal. You never know.
He's not pulling off the ball. He's taking a good strong swing at it.
Kershaw comes all the way back. Strikes out Medlin for the second out. Third strikeout for the Dodger left-hander.
That looked like it had a little natural cut action on that at 93. Very difficult pitch to get to.
Back to the top of the Atlanta order, Jason Hayward struck out his first time.
Does it surprise you at all that he let him hit there? Is it that urgent in the playoffs to say, okay, it's down 4-0. You got a guy on second base. Would you pinch hit for him?
I would have thought about it. We were talking about Mattingly saying sometimes you got to do things that are going to hurt people's feelings. That certainly would have, but it's a place you could have definitely gone. And that's one of the reasons that they put David Hale on the roster, because he was going to be their long man. So a chance to use him right here, but chose not to.
We're in the bottom half of the third. Two balls and a strike. Hayward 14 home runs and 38 runs batted in those 104 games. And seems to have found a home here as the Braves leadoff hitter. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll say this about the Braves and about a lot of the experts looking at this series, and most picking the Dodgers to win, despite the fact the Braves had 96 wins and have the home field. And the Braves have pretty much embraced that and said, yeah, we'll wear that. We'll be the underdog. That's fine. Chris Medlin saying, look, we're not running for prom king. You can talk about us when we get to the World Series. 2-2. And that's out of play down the left side.
Well, before the Dodgers went 42-8 in those 50 games, the Braves and Dodgers played each other 7 times, Braves winning 5 of those. So when the Dodgers weren't a very good team, they took advantage of it. Atlanta playing a different team now. You know, teams are built for 162. Atlanta certainly built for 162. But can they counter Kershaw, Greinke, Ryu, Nolasco in the pitching department?
On the ground to second. Ellis, one of the smoothest you'll see. Throws him out. And that does it for the Braves in the third. Dodgers on top 4-0. 2013 National League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. We are in Atlanta at Turner Field. And the Los Angeles Dodgers have a 4-0 lead as we move to the fourth. 7, 8, and 9 due against Chris Medlin. And Skip Schumacher takes upstairs. Schumacher with a sacrifice fly in the second. Right at Johnson at second. Medlin has said this year, when he was in the midst of a struggle, that he kind of got it broken down to basics, and it all got down to confidence and simplifying things. That he didn't feel anymore that he had to figure everything out by the middle of the game. What else does it mean to simplify things when you're on the mound, Ronnie?
You know, everything went so perfect for him last season that there's an expectation from sometimes even yourself that that's going to continue. It can't continue. No one can go at that rate that he went at. But simplifying things is really strike one, retire the first out in the inning, make sure you use your fastball more. I think when you have good breaking stuff like Chris Medlin, you can get into the habit of trying to use that all the time. The only reason it's effective is because your fastball command and your usage of your fastball is more than he was using early in the season.
A ball and a strike to A.J. Ellis. And this ball hit toward the line in right, and that's going to be in the corner. A sliding Upton couldn't corral it, and Ellis has his second double of the game.
He hit one down the third base line, and this time he's going to say, let me try a little right. Slicing the ball away. Justin Upton makes a good attempt at it, but just out of the reach. Second double of the game.
238 hitter during the regular season, going coast to coast, A.J. Ellis.
He stands at second with one out. And here's Kershaw. Kershaw grounded out to first his first time. We told you he can handle the bat. He's knocked in 10 runs. No pitcher's knocked in more.
You see how he's gotten so much better. First 3 seasons, 10 hits. Now has become a real force at the plate.
He was fooled there, and it's 1-1.
I always thought for good hitters, you got to learn to get reps against guys that throw really hard and see good breaking balls. It would take about 1,000 at bats to you learn yourself. A pitcher, it takes them much longer to get those at bats.
Although I think it's a little different now with the ballparks and the nice indoor cages, but you had to fight tooth and nail to get in the cage to get some hitting 25 years ago.
We didn't have cages.
That's right.
Old Memorial Stadium, they put one up down in the corner.
This was opening day, and he got it all, didn't he? Dead central. And Magic's like, this is a good investment. Two and two. Strike three called on the corner. 2 out here in the fourth.
A perfect fastball from Medlin right on the corner, framed beautifully by Brian McCann.
And when you become a better hitter, you start complaining about called third strikes on you.
Never complain if you're a pitcher. You want that pitch when you go out there later.
I'm just saying, he didn't look happy about it.
Ellis still at second for Carl Crawford, Dodger leadoff hitter. That strikeout of Kershaw was the first by Medlin since the first when he struck out the side.
You see A.J. Ellis behind Medlin dancing off second base. You're saying to yourself, he doesn't steal bases. Why is he doing that? Trying to get a decent secondary lead because he doesn't run very well. And 2 outs and a base hit. He wants to try to score.
Yeah, one of the small things that go unnoticed is getting a good aggressive secondary lead. You're going to read the ball on contact right now. Now, once the count gets to 2 strikes, then you're going on the swing. You don't have to wait for contact anymore. 2 outs, 2 strikes. You got to get an even better jump, and that's why you're going to hold them on a little bit to keep it a little closer to give the outfitters a shot.
3 balls and no strikes.
I think you'd let him swing here, but I don't think Crawford's that kind of hitter.
Taking all the way, 3-1. Second baseman Mark Ellis is on deck. Crawford part of that trade to the Dodgers from the Red Sox. Beckett and Gonzalez and Punto and that James Loney deal. And he draws a 2-out walk here in the 4th. They're at first and second. First walk given up by Medlin. Mark Ellis 0 for 2. He struck out in the first. Popped to second in the third.
A bit of a gamble as you see Brian McCann come out. You got the base open. Not a complete pitch around, but really didn't go after Crawford, which gives him first base. But if you don't retire Ellis with 2 outs, now you've turned the lineup over into the mashers, and that's when it becomes a tough gamble.
One of those mashers on deck, Ramirez, and Gonzalez after him, and then Puig. So a huge at bat here in the 4th. Runners lead from first and second. Here it comes. Right up the middle, base hit. Ellis is around third. They're going to wave him. Hayward with the throw offline, and the throw to second late, and the Dodgers lead it 5-0. So Mark Ellis delivers with 2 outs here in the 4th.
A nice line drive straight back up the middle. And what I like about the Dodgers team here is they're willing to trade an out here for this run. They were going all the way. Both runners were going to take the extra base. And when the throw is let go to home plate, now you have two more guys in scoring position.
So the gamble did not pay off. Ellis with the big 2-out base hit. And now Roger McDowell coming out to speak to his pitcher. The problem you have here, you didn't have a pitcher ready to face Ramirez. So Medlin's going to have to face Ramirez with 2 in scoring position. Luis Ayala up in the pen, veteran right-hander.
$5-0 Dodgers. And they're threatening for more. Runners at second and third for Hanley Ramirez. Dodgers with 5 runs and 4 of them with 2 out. Ramirez is 0 for 2. For Chris Medlin, just his second postseason game. Doesn't have fond memories of the first one, the wild card game against the Cardinals a year ago, when he was a losing pitcher. And tonight he's down 5-0 as he works in the 4th. Dodgers trying to add on. Ball and a strike.
Defensively, second baseman Elliott Johnson, as Medlin calls McCann out, right up the middle. don't know if I like that positioning as much against Ramirez, especially if they do get to 2 strikes. He's an RBI guy. What do RBI guys do? They don't try to do too much. They'll take a single to right field if you give them that big hole.
Yeah, Hanley's a good hitter. Uses the whole field. But the first 2 pitches, first is a curveball, next one's a changeup. You could be giving him a steady diet of off-speed pitches, which affects your positioning, which would make sense that he's up the middle on those 2 pitches.
Runners lead from second and third, and boy, there's a bullet foul. Just past Tim Wallach, the Dodgers third base coach, who really had to dance.
He played the hot corner in his career. He knows how to get out of the way.
He wasn't that close.
But he's not looking at the hitter right now.
Well,
we took a peek. He's getting down the line there to get an angle to send the runner at second base. That's the reason he's getting down there, which makes him a lot closer to the hitter too.
The 1-2 dribbled foul.
Last time Medlin gave up 5 runs at home was that wild card game you were talking about last year.
And that is a real uphill climb if you're facing Clayton Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers. Ramirez waits on a 1-2. Medlin with 22 pitches here in the 4th. The Braves can hardly afford to allow any more. Popped him up in the infield. Freeman calls and makes the play to retire the side, but for the 3rd straight inning, the Dodgers score, and it's 5-0 in the middle. welcome you back to Turner Field. Be the first to know the latest news on all your teams with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. Stay a step ahead. Check out Team Stream on your phone's app store today. Bottom half of the fourth inning here in Atlanta. And Justin Upton will lead it off against Clayton Kershaw. Grounded sharply right back to Kershaw his first time. And now for his career, he's 3 for 30 against him. And even I could do that math.
Well, Gaddis had the only hit of Kershaw so far, but Upton took the best at bat.
Upton got off to a tremendous start with his new club after that trade from Arizona. 5 home runs in his first 5 games and 6 in his first 7. And had 12 home runs in the Braves' first 23 games. Wound up hitting .263 with 27 home runs and 70 runs batted in. Did he go? Will they ask? No need. Hunter Wendelstedt handled it himself. Ball and 2 strikes.
May and June dried up for Upton, but responded better in July and August.
Breaking pitch. Just a little nubber out in front. Kershaw throws him out. Just moments ago we spoke with Dodgers manager Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly, your first game in the playoffs as a manager, and so far so good. You guys have gotten to Chris Medlin pretty effectively.
Yeah, we've stayed with him. You know, obviously we know he's going to add, subtract. He's going to use the whole plate. We've got to be patient with him. And you know, we've gotten a lot of 2-out hits. Those are huge. When you get 2-out hits, you can add on some runs. That's nice.
Well, Yasiel certainly helped manufacture a run by going first to third. Didn't think he was going to go. Do you think he surprised Hayward out there, or was that just the kind of speed we can expect from him?
Well, I think it's the kind of speed you can expect. He's so big, he doesn't look like he's going to run like that, but this cat is some kind of fast. And you know, even the sac fly is fairly shallow, and you try to do a little too much with that.
This cat is some kind of fast. Love that. No balls and a strike to Freddie Freeman.
You know, there's been comparisons to him and Bo Jackson because they're both big, strong guys. And it was beautiful watching Bo run. And I could see what he means, how fast he is, the way he ran from first to third.
Making pitch over, a ball and 2 strikes. And there's also been that comparison to the freight train.
Yeah, right.
One and 2. Did he foul tip it at the plate? He did. Count stays.
The pitch early in his career that gave Freeman trouble was that high fastball, but he's learned how to lay off it for the most part. One of the reasons that he had such a great year.
Ran it inside and missed, and the count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Freeman made the All-Star team this year, is in the fan vote, but then he couldn't play, and it opened up a spot for Brian McCann. That ball's well hit to right field. Puig will cut it off and toss it in and hold Freeman to a 1-out single here in the 4th.
Looked like a fastball that was supposed to be outside, ran back on the inside part, and Freeman didn't miss it. Nice line drive to right.
People don't talk about the speed of outfielders and defending plays. We saw Upton couldn't get to that double by Ellis, but there, Puig with all that speed holding Freeman to a single.
Now here's Evan Gaddis. Bloop single his first time.
once he got to a count. It looked like he almost wanted to dare him to try to go. Come on.
I got this arm I'd like to show you. Didn't take long for the word to get out.
There's been a long history of guys, right fielders especially, with good arms that want to bait you into going to the next base. And many times that backfires on them. I'd rather see an outfielder come in and catch the ball, bring the ball back in, and not tempt him, because you'd have to make a perfect throw many times. But clearly, he wanted a chance at him.
Gaddis has all kind of crazy power. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Here's that arm on Puig that we told you about in the air to nail Andrelton Simmons earlier this season.
In the air, on a line, didn't seem like it was too high off the ground either. What a cannon.
In the air, on a line, on the bag. 3-0. 4-pitch walk. Puts runners at first and second with 1 out.
Kershaw on the 2-0 pitch. Very frustrated that he missed that pitch. So fighting himself a little bit, even despite only giving up 2 hits and no runs so far.
Second walk of the night delivered by Kershaw. And Brian McCann steps in. Boy, did he have a ripple and missed it 0-1. Braves fans here were roaring in the first inning as Medlin struck out the side, and then the Dodgers kind of had him hush. And now they're back and trying to rally in the bottom half of the 4th inning. The plate jumping a little bit for Kershaw here in the 4th. Line foul by McCann, and it's 1-2.
Well, we heard Don Mattingly talk about those big 2-out RBIs. The Braves in the last 6 postseason games, 4 for 47 with runners in scoring position.
Braves lead from first and second. And McCann waits on Kershaw. And a 54-footer, 2-2.
You know, he's pitching without his curveball. He has not had the feel for it, has not thrown it for strikes, is not even really using it. It's more fastball, that little cutter he's been throwing to left-handed hitters.
They're used to seeing him more with the big overhand hook. He's mixing a lot more of the slider variety, the 86, 87 miles an hour. Threw a good one to Justin Upton, and he cued it off the end of the bat. We haven't seen that consistently from him.
In the air to left field. Crawford back and makes the catch as he leans against the wall for the second out. McCann hit it well the other way, but not quite enough. 2 down.
He's had 2 really good at-bats off of Clayton. Fastball out over the plate, actually a little off the plate. Shows you he's got a little power, drives it that way. Crawford gets back to the fence and makes that play look a lot easier than it was. Just missed it. Twice now.
So 2 runners still out there. Now 2 out for Chris Johnson. Into left center field for a base hit. That's going to get the Braves on the board. Freeman scores, and it's a 5-1 game. Chris Johnson delivers in the 4th.
Fastball inside, a little inside-out swing, lines it up the middle.
That was interesting from that view. Hanley went to try to make a great play on that ball, and it would disappear for a few seconds behind the base runner on second base.
So that's pumped a little more life into the building here in Atlanta. And they're at the corners with 2 out. Andrelton Simmons steps in. He walked his first time. One ball and no strikes. Gaddis at third and Johnson at first, and another look at it. Think he was screened a little bit there, Ronnie?
No one's seen that play more than you, Cal.
Yeah, many times you can get screened by that just for a brief second, and you can't track the ball clearly all the way. It looked like that's what happened. And it probably had a little spin that carried the ball towards center field by the looks of the inside-out swing.
Simmons had a big cut, fouled it away, a ball and a strike. Simmons a good contact guy, 4th toughest to strike out in the National League.
His manager, Freddie Gonzalez, thinks he's got a chance to be the best shortstop in the National League. Great range, just learning how to hit.
Fouled out of play. Count 1 and 2. Kershaw trying to get out of here with just 1 run scoring in the 4th.
You know, when you have a shortstop that has really good range, I don't like to play him over shifting on anybody. There's two balls that Puig hit in this game here that they were playing him to pull. Simmons was playing him in the hole. But I think back to Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Smith played everybody straight up because he could catch everything to his left and everything to his right. You're taking advantage of that range from that shortstop, and he has it.
Runners lead from 1st and 3rd. And Simmons with a 2-2 count. Don Mattingly has watched the Dodgers surrender their first run of the game here in the 4th. It's 5-1. The Braves have made Kershaw work over the last couple innings. Clayton Kershaw looking for his first postseason win ever. He's pitched in 5 games, a couple of starts. He's 0-1. And Simmons goes down swinging with 2 on. But the Braves get on the board in the 4th. It's 5-1. We welcome you back. Biggest swing of the game so far came from the guy at the plate here to lead off the fifth, Adrian Gonzalez. With 2 outs in the third, a 2-run homer that extended an LA lead from 2-0 to 4-0. They added another in the fourth. And right now it's 5-1.
After hitting a home run on a changeup to straightaway center, I was expecting the fastball in. It looked like that was a fastball. They're going right back to the changeup again.
He's going to try to throw it in a better spot.
Brian McCann asked for help. But Bill Miller, the third base umpire, said he did not go. Ball and a strike. Absolutely perfect night for baseball here in Atlanta. Game 1 of the NLDS best out of 5. Game 2 tomorrow a little bit earlier, 6 o'clock Eastern time or thereabouts. Took something off, and Gonzalez has his second hit of the night. Single to right. So Adrian Gonzalez on, and moments ago we talked to Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez. Freddie, we had talked to Don Mattingly earlier, and he talked about, boy, how big it is to get those 2-out runs. And conversely, boy, that's got to hurt you here in game 1.
Yeah, we've given up some RBIs there with 2 outs and took some balls back over the plate. Med, I was talking to McCann a little while ago. Just the right pitch, just the location, just missing right over the plate, right back to the barrel.
Well, at least you got that hit there by Chris Johnson, who's done it all for you this year.
I tell you what, Cal, offensively, I think we're doing a good job. As pitch counts up, we're being patient. We just need to keep the line moving a little bit there, but you're right. CJ has given up some big knocks this year, and that was a big one to get the run up there, and now we need to get another, get us a shutdown, and we'll get back here and start swinging the bats again.
We appreciate the time from Freddie Gonzalez, and meantime, Yasiel Puig is plunked by Chris Medlin.
Right on the numbers. Can't be wanting to hit Puig in that situation. Just the ball that got away from Medlin.
That's the last pitch of the night for the Braves starter. And a tough night for Medlin. 5-1 Dodgers as the Braves go to the pen. We are back. Here's a look at our Liberty Mutual pitcher comparison. And Clayton Kershaw still in there working with the lead, but the end of the road tonight for Chris Medlin, Ron.
Well, Medlin just did not have that precise control that he usually has, especially at home. He had won his last 6 home starts, given up nothing in September, 1 run in 36 innings, when he won September Pitcher of the Month, but it just didn't happen for him. But it hasn't been an easy ride for Kershaw. He has struggled also.
As for Medlin, came out with the ballpark roaring and struck out the side in the first. And then not much went right after that. 2 in the second, 2 in the third, another in the fourth. And here in the fifth, he allows a leadoff single to Adrian Gonzalez. and then hit Yasiel Puig in the back.
Luis Ayala, the veteran, had some of his best years in Montreal and then with the Washington Nationals when he was the setup man for the closer, Chad Cordero.
He will face Juan Uribe, who squares to bunt, gets it down, but it will trickle foul. 0-1.
Interesting play here by Mattingly. You like this?
I was a little surprised by that. Again, the cushion of 4 runs. You're trying to put another one on the board and bunting him over right here, but you could also play for the big inning. I was a little surprised. I wouldn't have been expecting just a straight sacrifice bunt.
Uribe had 3 sacrifice bunts this year, but he's a guy that in the postseason has hit well and has hit for power. White Sox in 2005, the Giants in 2010.
He squares again, puts it down, and the only play will be to first. Runners move up to second and third on the sacrifice by Uribe.
I thought he had a chance to go to third, but it's hard going one way and throwing back over your shoulder to third base.
We're going to put Skip Schumacher on, and we're going to check in with Craig Sager.
Well, a lot of disappointment out of the Braves dugout on that play. Freddie Gonzalez standing on the step yelling third, third, third. Freddie also looking out over to his infield, and I think Freeman was also yelling to go that way. But for some reason, Ayala decided to take the safe out at first, and Freddie was obviously very disappointed. Started walking up and down the dugout, said we should have gone to third on that one.
You know what's interesting as a pitcher when you're on the mound, what you want to do in that situation, look at the runner on second. Adrian Gonzalez is not a fast runner. Second, how hard the ball is bunted back to you. That one extremely hard. That's what makes kind of your decision for you. But I'm sure McCann was yelling third also.
Another look.
I mean, there's as much room as you could have.
You couldn't want a better opportunity to make a play at third, but he went to first, and then you walk Schumacher intentionally to load the bases, and you bring up A.J. Ellis, who's been nothing but trouble tonight. Couple of doubles, and has scored a run. Knocked one in the second. They're jammed for the Dodger catcher. He takes a strike.
I can't help but think back to Earl Weaver, though, yelling out there. A bunt play is successful if you get an out. Then I have some strategy. If I mess up the bunt play, if I try to hurry that throw when my body's going one direction, try to get him at third, and I don't, guess what? Bases loaded, no outs.
Good point.
Ayala ahead of Ellis, 0-2.
Well, when Ayala has been at his best, he's a sinker ball slider guy, gets a lot of ground balls. That's what you want in this situation. A.J. Ellis has grounded into 11 this year.
He's appeared in the postseason the last 2 years, with the Yankees in 11, with the Orioles in 12. There he is in the year 2013 and trying to get out of a bases loaded jam against the Dodgers. Missed inside, 1-2.
He'll throw an occasional changeup, but in these tough situations, he is going to be sinker slider pitcher.
Good downward bite on the sinker tonight.
The Dodger on every base. They already lead at 5-1.
Sometimes you don't have the personnel in your organization, but I love in the bullpen having a guy that the other team can't elevate. He throws the ball, sinks it enough that you know you're going to get a ground ball. Could hit a hole, but you're trying to get a ground ball here and get out of the inning.
Big pitch for Ayala here. Grounded foul past third. Ayala appeared in 75 games, worked 65 innings, 37 games with 31 innings. Walks and strikeouts, not exactly the ratio you're looking for. He struck out 20, walked 13. And Ellis waits on a 1-2. Count even.
I found off a sinker ball that you really have to have a discipline, not swinging at the ball that's coming inside, just off the plate. That's what he wants you to swing at.
He's induced 7 double play grounders in his 31 innings, and he could really use one right here. We got Gonzalez at third, Puig at second. Schumacher, who was intentionally walked, at first. Only been 1 hit in the inning, that by Gonzalez. Puig got hit before the intentional pass to Schumacher.
Yeah, as many times as he's pounded him in right now, he could go for the strikeout with a breaking ball here.
Got him swinging for out number 2.
We talk about a certain pitch setting up other pitches. The hitter has got to be aware, hey, he's pounding me in, and here comes that sidearm breaking ball, and your body starts to leak anticipating the inside pitch. You can't cover the outside corner.
So the strikeout brings the pitcher to the plate. And Ayala a step closer to leaving the bases loaded. Kershaw takes a strike, 0-1. He's grounded to first and struck out.
First pitch slider to Kershaw, too. Now, conversely, a sinker goes to the barrel of a left-handed hitter. And he's using a couple backdoor breaking balls here to get ahead of Kershaw.
They had him loaded with 1 out. Ayala a strike away from getting out of it. How close was it? Well off the plate. 1-2. Tried to paint again. The count is even at 2-2.
Hunter Wendelstedt has had a good night. Those pitches are just off the plate. 45,000 wanted to be a strike.
Back-to-back strikeouts to end the 5th, and the Dodgers leave them loaded. Still a 4-run game. the upcoming schedule is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Take a look at the schedule for this National League Division Series. Game 2, 6 o'clock tomorrow night here on TBS. Then we hit the road for Los Angeles. 8 o'clock Eastern. Game 3 Sunday. Game 4 will be Monday. And if it does go 5, it would be back here in Atlanta. Elliott Johnson leads it off in the bottom half of the 5th inning. I'll tell you what, fellas, if the Braves are able to chip away here and get back in this game a little more, they will look back at the top half of that inning. And what a job Ayala did in a really tough spot to keep the Dodgers where they were. Came on in relief of Medlin. Walked one man intentionally, but struck out 2 with the bases loaded to get out of it. Down low by Kershaw, 2-2. What do you make of what you've seen from him so far in this start? He's working with a 5-1 lead, but this is not vintage stuff.
Well, I see that he just has not found his curveball. That has been the big difference. That's the pitch that separates him from everyone else. He's got one of the best curveballs I've ever seen from a left-hander. Can't find the touch on it. I think he's a little frustrated. He's in line for his first postseason win. He wants it too bad. It's almost that's how how it feels to me.
Here comes a 2-2. Breaking pitch. Strike 3 called. And let's see if it was called or did he, as Hunter Wendell said, saying he went. Whatever, it's 1 out. And the Braves will go to the bench. And B.J. Upton will pinch hit. Take a look.
This is a high slider, more of a slurve. And from a hitter's perspective, I don't like to call that a swing.
No.
I think he called it on the strike, though.
I think he thought it was in the strike zone.
A high strike.
So I think that's what Johnson might have been arguing, is that he thought that ball was up.
B.J. Upton swings and misses at the first one. It's 0-1.
So he didn't point at the bat. He didn't say, yes, he swung. Yeah. The argument I would have if he did call the check swing, well, you got to check that.
Quickly, Upton behind. No balls and 2 strikes. It's been a struggle. 184. The batting average for B.J. Upton in 126 games. And of more pressing concern, his numbers with runners in scoring position this year, 108. There's a big breaker. One of those curveballs that Kershaw is known for, and B.J. Upton is hearing it.
Well, that's the big hook. And normally when you have someone with a little zip on their fastball and can pitch up in the strike zone, that's a perfect compliment.
He watched B.J., who was 1 for his last 36 to end the season. Just a tough year.
Kershaw missed with a breaking ball there to Jason Hayward, Braves leadoff hitter, who's 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the third. How does that happen to a pitcher, Ron, when a pitch that's almost your trademark and you can't find it one night?
But the good ones, you know what happens to them? It'll come. You know, you stay patient, and after a while, it'll come. You'll get the feel for it. If you don't have it, that's when the teams have to get you. And they've had some opportunities against him against Clayton to score some runs, but he's pitched real well in the tough situations.
How often do you have both breaking balls? You have the slurve and the slider and the overhand hook. Is it one or the other?
It's tough to have it in both, but he tends to have them both more than most pitchers.
Clayton Kershaw just struck out the side. He got Johnson. He got Upton with the big curveball. And he gets Hayward on the check swing. Secrets of being a home run hitter. Tim Ferriss will show you how to knock it out of the park. Go to upwave.com/baseball. Kind of the science and technology behind some of what you see when you're watching postseason play on TBS. Dodgers have the top of the order up there again, and this will be the fourth at bat for Carl Crawford as we move to the top half of the sixth. New Atlanta pitcher is Jordan Walden.
We see his numbers were good this year. He missed 15 games due to right shoulder inflammation. This is his first postseason appearance.
Right at Elliott Johnson for the first out.
You want to see something funky, Cal? Watch Jordan Walden's motion. As he comes to the set, he will hop up and almost like a triple jump at the hitter, and his foot comes completely off the ground, still hasn't let the ball go, jump, then put that foot down and let it go.
Wow. That is funky.
Ron, how do you develop that kind of a delivery? How does that happen?
I don't know. I mean, no one would ever teach a pitcher to jump and throw the ball to the plate. It's just his natural way of throwing. And in fact, you could say in some ways he's getting an advantage because he's a foot in front of the rubber before he throws that 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
0-1 to Mark Ellis. So you got the two pitchers right now in the game, Walden and Kershaw, who were high school teammates in Texas, and Matthew Stafford, the Lions quarterback, was with them there too. They were probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty unfair if you have to play against them.
I was just thinking there's a lot of kids during that time that had some low batting averages from the opposing schools.
Coach, I can take tomorrow off against Highland Park if that's okay. The 2-1 is slapped into left field by Ellis. for a one-out single. Let's take a look at our Goodyear Superior Performance. And it's the guy at the plate right now, Hanley Ramirez, after coming off the disabled list on June 4th.
You know, he won a batting title earlier in his career with the Marlins, but he only had 300 at bats, a little over 300 at bats. You double his numbers from this year. He had 20 home runs, 25 doubles.
That's toward the gap in right center field, and nobody will get it. Off the wall. Ellis around third. He'll score easily. Ramirez has delivered a run-scoring double, and it is 6-1 Dodgers.
Hanley said, I want to join the party. So went up there, looked for a fastball, 97 miles an hour, and drove it to right center field. Now it scores easily from first.
Add-on runs, huh, Cal? So important.
When you're in the situation like the Braves, you feel like you're hanging in there, you know, and you just want one break. You want one inning where you put a crooked number up there and you're in the game. And the worst thing that can happen is the Dodgers come back and add another one.
Here's Gonzalez, who's got a couple of hits, one left the park. Good pop on that fastball and a good cut by Gonzalez, 0-1.
There's a lot of flames on that radar gun going on right now. 97 on that last pitch.
Dodgers have been off since Sunday's season finale and have come out here and looked crisp in the opener of the NLDS.
What's interesting is that they kind of coasted in September. This is the home run by Gonzalez in the third inning.
That had some flames on it too, Kevin.
Going out.
Well, they coasted through September. They rested some of their players like Hanley Ramirez. And they haven't missed a beat here.
That's always the debate. You know, do you want to keep them going, getting in their bats? I like to get my bats, and I like to keep playing so you felt like your timing was there. There is a danger when you give some time off. You can't pick it right back up again.
You don't know anything about time off. What are you talking about?
3-1 in your scorebook there on Gonzalez as Ramirez moves to third. Yeah, show up for work once in a while, will you, Cal?
I was basing it on my spring trainings. I missed a few spring training games.
With two down and Ramirez at third, here's Yasiel Puig. When he first came up, it was basically being called Yasiel, and then it kind of morphed into Yasiel.
Be careful on his first pitch. 551 with 9 homers on the first pitch.
Tied him up, 0-1. Puig has a couple of hits and has scored a run. And got hit in the numbers in his last trip, and that was the last pitch by Chris Medlin.
Yeah, they're going upstairs. Flaunt the fastball upstairs. Take advantage of his aggressiveness. Try to have him swing outside the strike zone.
A player like Puig, after getting hit in the back, wants to do some major damage here.
One ball and 2 strikes. I don't think it really matters with Puig a lot of times what's gone on before. So he wants to do damage with every pitch. Made his debut on June 3rd. Homered in 4 of his first 5 games. He's just 22. Native of Cuba. Not a mighty cut. Came up empty. Walden struck him out, but the Dodgers do add to the lead. 6-1. City of Atlanta by night. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. 6-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Clayton Kershaw, in his 33 starts this year, has thrown over 100 pitches 24 times. His high is 132 against the Nats. That came in 8 2/3 innings. He goes to work here in the 6th, and that is pitch number 92.
And it's good that you brought that up, Ernie, because if he were to pitch a game 5, if he had to pitch a game 5, it would be on 1 extra day rest. So I think if you're Mattingly and Honeycutt, you can push him to the 125 level.
I just remember Mattingly saying he's automatic. He's going to be in the 7th or 8th inning. No matter what kind of stuff he has out there, he gets to the 7th and the 8th inning.
He led the National League with 232 strikeouts. And he's got Justin Upton 0-2. 7 strikeouts through 5.
That's amazing because that's without his really good overhand hook. He's found it a couple times. He's mixed in a number of slurvy or slider type breaking balls effectively.
He's missed with maybe 3, 4, 5 pitches to Justin Upton that he is almost centered but just missed. That was a hanging little cutter he threw to him right in the zone.
Upton in 2 trips has played pepper with Kershaw tonight. And here comes the 0-2. You have those times in a game, guys, where you think if the tide is going to turn a little bit, it might be right here. And the Braves, I think it was when Ayala come on, got out of the bases loaded jam. Braves come in and then go 3 up, 3 down, and Kershaw strikes out the side. And then the Dodgers come up and add to the lead. And there's strikeout number 8 for Kershaw.
Well, before the game, this is Kershaw just sitting by himself in the outfield, trying to get himself into the zone, leave me alone. And then last inning, while the Dodgers were scoring that run, never looked up, just staring down, just making sure that, just staying in, trying to get in the zone. He hasn't gotten in there yet, but maybe now the 5 consecutive strikeouts, it's starting to come.
Starts Freeman off with a breaking pitch, and it's 0-1. Very composed, very grounded 25-year-old is Kershaw. He and his wife have built an orphanage in Africa. Just a really good example of a guy who is making it close to superstardom, if not already there in the big leagues, and not carried away with it by any means.
Well, he's one of those younger players that you're proud yourself to have been a player because he handles it the right way.
Ellis asked for some help. Miller gave him some down at third and rung up Freeman for the second out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts in a row for Kershaw.
Boy, don't check your swing tonight. You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Struck out Simmons to end the 4th. Got Elliott Johnson, B.J. Upton, and Hayward in the 5th, and now Justin Upton and Freeman in the 6th. And here's Evan Gattis. Just as we were saying, you know, it's not really vintage Kershaw that you're getting here tonight, and it's almost like he looked up and said, "Shut up."
Yeah, exactly. I'll handle this.
I got your vintage.
The old dinosaur up there. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
He's found that overhand hook the last couple.
Another 0-2 count. When he came up in 08, he was the youngest player in the bigs at 20. Went 5-5. Won his Cy in 2011. Probably win it again if there's any justice here in 2013. There's the hook again. This one missed. 1-2.
And 77 big league wins at 25 years old. Pretty impressive.
Oh, look at the play by Ramirez. Another 1-2-3 inning and a blue star for the Dodger shortstop. We head to the 7th. We'd like to welcome T-Mobile as a new MLB partner and presenting sponsor of TBS coverage of Turner's Division Series coverage. Good to have you with us. And we move to the top half of the 7th inning. 4th Atlanta pitcher, Alex Wood.
Well, the youngster of the season, 31 games, 11 of them were starts for the Atlanta Braves. His ERA just a touch over 2 in 20 innings out of the bullpen.
There's a funky delivery. We've seen a few tonight.
That's
Hey, Cal, how'd you get used to that as a hitter? If you hadn't seen a guy much and trying to see where the ball's coming out.
Sometimes it takes an at bat or two, and you don't have that luxury when you face a guy out of the pen to understand where the ball is coming out. You got to be able to see the ball, and part of the deception that many pitchers have naturally is just how they jump at you, the irregular movement of their body. This is all arms and legs, and all of a sudden the ball comes out in at 94.
Kind of hides that ball behind that high right shoulder. Kind of lifts it up before he delivers the ball to the plate.
Big swing by Uribe, and it's 2-2. He's 1 out of 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Singled and scored a run in the second. Dodgers scored 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth. In the air, shallow right. Long run, and the catch made by Justin Upton for the first out. What do you say we go down the street? Keith Olbermann here in Atlanta. Very good, KO. Thanks. Here's Skip Schumacher.
Those 15 home runs coming in the same amount of at-bats, 129.
Schumacher, the Dodgers center fielder. Matt Kemp out. He's been injury plagued all season. Came back in a game we had on TBS, as a matter of fact, in Washington, and got hurt late in the game, and then came back again, but never really able to be himself. And so he's out for the postseason. Andre Ethier's got those shin splints, and he's available to pinch hit at this point of the series. So Schumacher, who's got some experience out there, gets the call.
He played in some postseason games with the Cardinals when they moved him in to be their second baseman. He's played outfield and the second base position. It's one of those gamer types. Grew up in the Los Angeles area. Perfect match.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Came up as an outfielder, then converted to an infielder, but even this season he had 29 starts out there in center field. 29 games and 17 starts. That ball's hit well, but right at Andrelton Simmons.
I was trying to see how much he had to move to his left on that ball. A line drive, and you can see he's got quick feet and good quick anticipation. Started with his crossover step, realized it's coming back to him, makes a nice easy catch. He does make things look easy. You know, that's a really good trait. There's some shortstops that make every play look really hard. Watching him, he makes every play look easy.
Does something you don't see from young shortstops either. He's got a tremendous arm, but he doesn't always show it. If he gets an easy play, he gets it there, you know, 3/4 speed. But if he's got to go in the hole and throw it on a dime, he can do that also.
Alex Wood upstairs to A.J. Ellis, who's 2 out of 3. Doubles in the second and the fourth. He scored a run. Struck out in the fifth. Had a really good night for Don Mattingly out of the 8-hole. Clayton Kershaw on deck as Ellis hits with 2 out here in the 7th. And the count even at 2-2. Alex Wood. You know, it's amazing when you think about it. The staggering percentage to me of guys who have had Tommy John in the big leagues right now. It's like a third. And he's one of them. Count full at 3-2.
He didn't sit on the bench at Georgia. Participated.
It's almost like a shot, but I'm not going to take it that way. You may have insulted me a little bit.
I'm sure with that arm he was recruited too.
Yeah, right.
Okay, pile on, Cal. Up the middle, that should be easy, and is for Johnson, who throws out Ellis. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. They stretch in Atlanta. back to Turner Field in Atlanta. 7th inning stretch in game 1 of the National League Division Series. Dodgers on top 6-1. Ernie Johnson, Ron Darling, Cal Ripken. 2 out hits, and Clayton Kershaw. Kind of the story of the night so far.
4 2-out runs for the Dodgers have been the difference. Kershaw struggled a little bit early, but now is turning it up, trying to get deeper into this ball game. And coming into the series, you kind of knew that maybe the Dodgers would win this game with Kershaw, and that this was the game that you might lose at home because he's been so good all season long and almost unbeatable when you think about it. But that puts so much pressure on tomorrow's game because you got to win one of them.
You have to, and I think in some ways we've seen some good at-bats that resulted in foul balls. We haven't really seen them put together. And then once Kershaw starts to find his overhand hook, that makes it even impossible for the offense. So, yeah, you might be able to say we weren't supposed to win this one. And you're not giving up yet, but you got to come out tomorrow with a renewed attitude, and you got to win this. You got to win the next game.
Kershaw has retired the last 7 Braves he's faced, 6 of those by strikeouts.
I think Mattingly and Honeycutt have to be going over not only the lineup, how many pitches they are going to allow Kershaw to throw. You had to have a number before you came in because you knew he's going to have an extra day rest. So it might be where it's not going to be 115. It might be 125. He's thrown as many, you said, Ernie, 132.
Those 6 consecutive strikeouts he had, most by a Dodger pitcher in the postseason. The previous high was 5. And I will let you guess the guy who fittingly his last name began with a K. Sandy Koufax had 5 in a row, and Kershaw had 6 in a row tonight. Ryan McCann leads it off. McCann's one of those guys who got a hold of one pretty well to the opposite field. Chased Carl Crawford back to the track. And that came in the 4th inning. You think the Braves have scored their only run.
Yeah, Freeman pulled the ball hard down the right field corner. That was cut off. McCann's had a couple of really good at-bats where he just missed the ball to center field and hit the ball to the wall and left.
3 bad ones to McCann, who leads off the 7th. Leadoff walk. 3rd walk of the night issued by Kershaw, 1 more than he issued in the month of July. Look at our BMW clear advantage. And you look at the spray chart here for Chris Johnson, who, as we pointed out, finished 2nd in the National League in hitting and can hurt you in a number of different ways.
Well, that's a good chart to show a good hitter that hits for a high average. You're using the whole field. You're staying on the ball. You're not being fooled by the off-speed pitches. And he can handle the fastball.
He has knocked in the lone Atlanta run of the night. Came in the 4th. And scored Freddie Freeman.
There are approaches that say, let's approach the big part of the field, which means right center field to left center field. You can stay on the ball. If the ball's pitched away from you, you have a chance to hit the opposite field. If it comes in, you can be a little quicker and pull the ball.
Skip the rope there. It's 1-1.
Again, that little cutter that follows him in the inside corner. Stat I like when you're talking about hitters. Chris Johnson said 362 this year against the top 10 in wins in the National League. So when he faces the better pitchers, he turns it up a notch.
McCann leads from first. A big cut by Johnson, 1-2. First postseason game of Chris Johnson's career. Just turned 29 on Tuesday. Fooled by Kershaw there for the first out. And that is strikeout number 10.
Yeah, when you go from the 86-mile-an-hour slider and then you come back with a 72 or 73-mile-an-hour curveball, the break is bigger, but the change of speed had him out in front. He sees spin, and he's expecting it to be the slider, and then he goes to swing at it, and it's the hook.
4 times in the regular season he had double-digit Ks, and he gets there tonight in Game 1 of the NLDS. His season high is 12. Down the line. Foul.
Oh, another what-if moment for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, the ball doesn't quite go over the corner of that bag. It is close, though. I used to always look to see where the ball hit in the dirt before and then where the ball hit on the other side of the line. And sometimes you could draw a line between the two and prove the ball went over the bag.
Bill Miller put the hands up, said foul ball, and it's 0-1.
Remember, Freddie Gonzalez has the best look at that from the Atlanta dugout.
Andrelton Simmons waiting on an 0-1. And now he'll be waiting on an 0-2.
I think he thought that pitch was a little low. Good hop to his low fastball.
Yeah. Freddie, you see Freddie nodding? He saw it on the replay on a monitor there. Said it was foul.
Told you about Kershaw looking for his first win in the postseason. 5 games and 2 starts. In his career, he had 11 strikeouts. That's in his postseason career. He's 1 away from matching that number in this game. So you talk about the fact that he hasn't won a game and all that stuff. That was before. I mean, this is the evolved Clayton Kershaw. This is not the same kid. He's matured. He's in so many ways of his approach. It's not the same guy you saw in 08, 09. Pitch number 117 about to be made by Kershaw. Simmons thought about it, held up, count full.
Fastball up. Nice job by Simmons holding the swing back.
It's a good at bat right here. Yeah. Laid off the breaking balls in the dirt. Doesn't expand the strike zone up on the fastball. It's going to make Clayton come to him.
And he struck him out. Number 11 on the night.
With the high slider.
It's almost like a hanging slider. He tied himself up.
Top of the strike zone. Too close to let go.
8 of the last 9 outs, strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. There's a bullet up the middle that Ramirez made the diving stop on and threw out Gaddis to end the 6th.
You know, this is the big question that Atlanta's going to have to answer in this series. Can they hit good pitching?
Because they're going to see some.
And they're going to strike out. They've struck out all season long, but they're going to have to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's how they made their hay all season long.
Elliott Johnson broke his bat as he fouled that pitch off. If he was a little rough around the edges early in the game, Clayton Kershaw has certainly righted himself here in the last 3. And Ronnie, you know as well as anybody that that it happens, that sometimes you got to eventually find yourself, find your game, find your arsenal.
He knows how important he is to the Dodgers postseason run. He knows what responsibility he has, that almost every time he pitches, they've got to win his starts if they're going to go deep in the playoffs. And as a player, you're thinking to yourself, you know, these things don't happen every year. You think they might happen every year, but they don't always happen every year. So you have to think, maybe this is my time. I'll tell you who earns his money when Kershaw's pitching is A.J. Ellis. I mean, he's the fine job back there blocking the baseball.
I tell you, this type of pitcher does take the pressure off the defense. You take it into your own hands. You strike out a lot of guys. Guys in the gloves behind give a chance to get a little bit of a lead. Everybody can breathe a little bit.
A distinctive stretch and to the plate. Rounded foul again past third. Elliott Johnson at the plate, and Reed Johnson has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Record for the Dodgers in the LDS by the dynamite left-hander Clayton Kershaw. And making a dozen. What a night for the guy who's going to win the Cy Young. We're through 7. All Dodgers.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
The night is through for Clayton Kershaw. A dozen strikeouts, only allows 3 Atlanta hits. And when he came in between innings, you could see the appreciation his teammates felt. From both of your perspectives, if you're the guy, Ron, and you do your job, that's one thing. As a teammate, Cal, you put your ace out there on the mound, and he responds the way Kershaw did tonight. What's the mindset?
Well,
Cal
I mean,
Ripken.
yeah, you almost expect it, from him. It's like I keep going back to Mattingly's words of it's automatic. When you start to play behind somebody that's got it going on like he does, we're calling this a struggle start. But I mean, you look at his numbers: 3 hits, 12 punch outs. I'm wondering if he thinks it's a struggle start.
Fine play by Freddie Freeman, by the way, over at first. He can really pick it over there and made the play and flipped to the new pitcher, David Carpenter, who is the 5th Atlanta pitcher.
I was trying to watch and see how Ethier was running to first base. He seemed to be moving okay.
Freeman is a big man, but he has great quickness at first base. He'll win some Gold Gloves over there.
Good at bat. Now breaks it down a little bit. Don't push it. It's not worth it.
Again, Ethier pinch hitting here as Schumacher got the start in center field. Ethier tries to shake off the effects of those shin splits, sore ankle.
Well, that's a good at bat. You can find out something from that at bat. Swung the bat good, hit a hard line drive, ground ball.
Carpenter's numbers all career high. This is his first postseason appearance. He was great down the stretch for them.
Kind of buzzed the tower with the first one to Crawford, and that's over 1-1.
Both of these teams have a former catcher in their bullpen. David Carpenter for Atlanta and Kenley Jansen for the Dodgers, the closer.
He was a catcher in West Virginia when he played his college ball. Converted to pitcher in 2008. He was part of the managerial trade. John Farrell coming from Toronto to Boston.
It sounds weird, doesn't it? Managerial trades.
Right. Ozzie Guillen was involved in one at one point. Farrell was as well as he went from Toronto to Boston. Strikeout for Carpenter. Crawford not thrilled with that. 2 down here in the 8th.
That's that pitch, Cal. You say that the hitters feel as though it goes around the plate.
And he might have thought it was a little low, too.
Ryan McCann almost fell over trying to frame that pitch.
2 up and 2 down for Carpenter here in the 8th, and here is Mark Ellis, the Dodgers second baseman. To right field, where Upton had him played perfectly. 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. To get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and expert opinions from the biggest names in sports, check out Behind the Mic, powered by Ford, on Bleacher Report. Check out bleacherreport.com/Behind the Mic. Bottom half of the 8th inning. And to call him a free spirit is really selling him short. Brian Wilson on in relief of Clayton Kershaw.
I don't know about you guys. It's still hard for me to see him in a Dodgers uniform. Of course, played huge role in 2010 with the Giants. Saved 6 of 7 postseason games. And in 18 games, only gave up 1 run as a Dodger.
Chunk of that beard infringing on the lettering on the front of the Dodger jersey. Reed Johnson, the pinch hitter here in the 8th. Grounds to second. Ellis throws him out. That thing is a masterpiece.
Well, he's got a little rubber band there at the bottom, though, to just bring it all together, Ernie.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. How he's not in a Red Sox uniform, I don't get it. Blood, sweat, and beards.
Here's Jason Hayward. Braves have mustered but 3 hits on the night as they play here in the 8th. It's a ball and a strike.
He seems to be throwing the ball well, but does he have his full velocity back?
No, when he's in his prime, he could throw 94 to 97. So he's about 5 miles an hour short, but that should come with time.
Ball and 2 strikes. Wilson signed on the 30th of July. Pitched in 18 games. ERA 0.66 in 13 2/3. Line drive by Hayward for a 1-out single here in the 8th. Not much for Braves fans to cheer about after the first inning when Medlin struck out the side, but then the Dodgers have taken him out of it. First hit of the night and 4 trips for Hayward.
Wilson could play a big role here for the Dodgers in the playoffs because he's a guy that's been there. Might not have the same stuff, but you know he's not going to be afraid of any situation.
He was untouchable in 2010. High chopper. Ramirez charges and throws him out. 2 down with Hayward moving on to second.
That's a really nice play and a nice decision to get the shore out. Many times you want to remind the infielders, here's a high chopper, he reads it right away, uses his legs, catches it in the air. Don't try to get the force out or even a double play. Take the shore out now. All you need are outs. You got a lead. Let's not create a big inning.
And Cal, the charge there too to glove that before you got to deal with any kind of a short hop. If you wait on that ball, then it's a much tougher play. Here's Freeman.
Yeah, the hardest part about that play is reading it and making a decision right away. Either play it on the hop and then hurry to make the throw. But Hanley's really good at using his legs and throwing on the run for that matter.
You ask the Braves players and they'll tell you that most of the big hits for the Braves, especially with 2 outs, were by Freddie Freeman. 2 out, runners in scoring position, 411 was his average. Strike zone's opened up a little, Cal.
I would agree with that.
Freeman thought that ball was down. That backdoor slider that's been called a couple times now.
Freeman singled in the 4th. He has scored the only Atlanta run. Wilson working the inside part of the plate and missed there. The count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Well, he had Tommy John surgery. He's a workout fanatic, so you would think that with time and the building up of strength that Wilson has a good chance to come all the way back.
I did see 196.
Slow roller to second. Freeman retired. 8 innings in the books in Atlanta. Dodgers lead at 6-1. Watch every game live when NCAA March Madness returns to TBS, CBS, TNT, and True TV this March. And for the first time, the Final Four comes to TBS. Don't miss a moment of action starting in March, right here on TBS. It's been a business-like beatdown by the Dodgers tonight, 6-1.
That's a good way to describe it.
And Henley Ramirez swinging at the first pitch he sees from Avilan, and Gaddis tracks it down. Nice running catch for the first out in the 9th. Luis Avilan, the 6th Atlanta pitcher.
Well, good breaking ball, but Hanley covers it, Cal.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Did he go up there looking for the first pitch breaking ball? I don't think so. He's just that good a hitter to see the ball, react to it, and drive it to left center field.
Nice play by Gaddis. Well, the bullpen really has been one of the good stories for Atlanta tonight. They've only given up a run. And Avilan this season, his best. Last 54 games, ERA under 1. Opponent's batting average, 154.
Here's Adrian Gonzalez.
You can make an argument in that pen, because Kimbrel's such an automatic, that the best year that they needed from the pen was from Avilan because of the loss of Eric O'Flaherty and Johnny Venters, the 2 talented left-handers.
Gonzalez delivered a 2-out, 2-run homer in the third, which was huge in a 2-0 game. Brian Wilson after a very effective 8th inning. And the thing is, you talked about him working his way back in. He takes it seriously. I saw some flipping around today and watching MLB Network, and they just had a shot early this afternoon, and he was running in the outfield with like a harness attached to him and one of the trainers holding on to it for resistance. I mean, this guy gets after it.
Like the plyometrics, right? Tops off the beard with a little mohawk, ponytail.
Adrian Gonzalez returning to the postseason for the first time in 7 years. It was 2006 with the Padres. And he marked it with that 2-run bomb in the third. Also singled in the 5th.
I don't know about you, Cal, but I always enjoyed the free spirits on my team. That were my teammates, because I don't have it in me, so I like to see other people who do have it.
There's a lot of monotony to be a big league player, and a lot of downtime. You need someone to make it fun.
Gonzalez picks on a breaking pitch, and just short of the track, Upton puts it away for the second out. MLB Network, your home for 2 division series games. Tomorrow you can see the wild card winning Pittsburgh Pirates battling the Central Division champion St. Louis Cardinals in Game 2 of their NLDS Best of 5. It comes your way at 1 o'clock, noon Central, exclusively on MLB Network. Yasiel Puig singled in the second and scored, singled in the third, hit by a pitch in the 5th, and struck out in the 6th. Here's the deal. All the things we've seen from him, from the great arm to some of the ill-advised moves, you can't take your eyes off the guy.
Yeah. You don't want to miss an at bat.
He is must-see in right field for the Dodgers.
They're going to have to pitch him in there because he covers the plate so well. You can get him out in and up. And once you start to establish that, I think he'll chase the breaking ball in the dirt as well. They're starting to get a little bit of a book on him.
What is it that Yoenis Cespedes said about him, Ronnie?
He said that the Cuban ball players tend to be very aggressive players, but none of them are like Yasiel Puig.
The count 1-2. Base is empty here in the 9th. And Puig steps out on Avalon.
Watching his batting practice today, he was hitting balls at the stadium that you just don't see. The places they never go.
You heard Craig Sager in his report earlier talk about the sound that it makes in BP, but he goes down swinging here for the second time. Tonight's 2013 National League Division Series coverage on TBS, presented by T-Mobile. Our aerial coverage tonight has been provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. The view from above is the same as the view from below. It is 6-1. Dodgers over the Braves as we move to the bottom half of the 9th inning. And Kenley Jansen is on the mound in the 9th.
You like this move, Cal, bringing in a guy in his first postseason appearance who's your closer to get his feet wet?
Yeah, I like to get his feet wet. You like to get him feeling what it feels like to pitch in this situation. But you do have to be a little bit careful because you'd like to have him fresh for tomorrow. But it's a good opportunity to get his first postseason appearance without the pressure.
See that strikeout to walk ratio, 18-111.
He has found the cutter, which is why he has become the closer. Throws the more cutters than anybody except Rivera for the Yankees. That's his pitch.
Power against power there, and he wins out over Gaddis. It's 1-2. Big guy, 6'5", 260. And a minuscule ERA since the All-Star break. 1.19. Gaddis just did get a piece to stay in there, and may have gotten a piece of Ellis as well.
I think it got more than a little piece. Boom.
Yeah, it's pretty much full on.
You got to be a little crazy to play that position. And they take it with a smile. It's funny.
Two balls and two strikes. Gaddis leading it off here in the 9th. Loop single in the 2nd. But in that inning, he was doubled off of first on a fly ball to right center field. He walked in the 4th, and he grounded out to short in the 6th.
This wouldn't qualify as a mop-up inning for a closer. This is an opportunity to get him into the playoffs. But generally, closers didn't do too well in mop-up innings. They need the pressure. They need the adrenaline.
Yeah, they're adrenaline junkies. First guy he has to face, though, is Gaddis, who homered off him in May. Mattingly would like to see a nice clean inning from Jansen.
4, 5, 6 hitters in the Atlanta lineup here in the 9th. McCann on deck, Chris Johnson to follow.
Just don't want your closers in the postseason when you're trying to make a run have any bad moments happen at any time. You don't want them to give up a meaningless home run. You don't want them to have any of those thoughts in their head. You just want them to be on top of their game like Brian Wilson was in 2010.
Payoff pitch to Gaddis. Misses, and there's a leadoff walk in the 9th. Game 2 of this series tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Mike Minor will go for the Braves. Zach Greinke for Los Angeles. The pitching-rich Dodgers sending Greinke to the mound. We got Ryu ready for Game 3. Well, here's McCann, and they're working on their defensive alignment with McCann coming to the plate.
Well, against the right-hander, they'll go into a shift, but what they've done now is they've moved Hanley Ramirez in between third and short. Uribe is the one that goes behind second.
So the third baseman moving close to the bag at second, and Ramirez in the hole. 1-0.
with the shifts, there's a lot more variations on who goes where. Many times you'll put your third baseman out there in right field because he has generally a stronger arm, and this keeps the shortstop in the same sort of position around where he needs to be for double plays. Third basemen don't generally turn that double play. They don't get the chance too often, so it keeps the shortstop in that position. I'm struggling with the logic right here, though.
Strike to McCann. And the count even, a ball and a strike. So Ramirez, the lone infielder on the left side, as Jansen delivers the 1-1. That'll be fouled on a play. Ball and 2 strikes.
I guess I have another question for Donnie Mattingly tomorrow.
What don't you like about this, Cal?
Well, I was just trying to figure it out. What's the advantage of having Uribe there instead of Ramirez? And the only thing I could think of is that Ramirez has had a little sciatica, a little nerve issue, and as the game rolls on, maybe you take him out of the action a little bit over there.
Breaking pitch, strike 3 called. McCann would like to discuss.
Breaking pitch that he thought was up, and it's a pitch you don't see a lot from Jansen. But overhand curveball.
For Dodger pitching, that is 13 strikeouts of Atlanta hitters. And as we told you earlier, the Braves struck out the most in the National League, 3rd in baseball, with 1,384. Just under 9 a game. And Johnson waves at 1-0-1. One run on 4 hits for the homestanding Braves in Game 1 of the National League Division Series. They played best of 5. And the Dodgers trying to swipe that home field advantage right out of the gate.
DJ Upton on the left, Dan Uggla on the right. DJ didn't make it into the lineup against the left-handed Kershaw. Dan Uggla didn't make it on the roster.
Another Atlanta strikeout. Kershaw alone had 12. And Kenley Jansen with a couple here in the 9th.
It's always the tough question when you see a team that relies so heavily on the home run. Home runs seem to dry up in the postseason. Can you still produce runs if you're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark?
If you're the Dodgers, you got to get 27 outs. More than half will be strikeouts in the opener.
You are who you are as an offense.
Yeah.
And I know that Freddie said that in the pregame meeting as well. You're not going to start to do things differently. Many teams have a little bit more balance. They don't hit and run. They don't bunt a whole lot. This is who they are. This is their identity. They lead the league in home runs. So we're going to score our runs by swinging the bat. And if that means striking out a few times, so be it.
And it's maybe a different game if McCann's ball goes out of the ballpark, that drive to left field. Those are the big kind of hits they got all season long.
Simmons waits on an 0-2. And that missed, a ball and 2 strikes.
One advantage you have for your closers in these series, though, is you have 2 games and a day off, 2 games and a day off. It gives them a chance to catch their breath.
Among the Atlanta starters, only Gaddis has not struck out. Just a blooper, a little Texas leaguer that falls. And runners will be at first and third. Simmons got just enough.
Inside cutter, up and in a little bit, tied him up. Got enough of the bat on the ball to muscle it out there into left center field.
You know, one of the things you see at this ballpark, it's very fair to the pitchers. It's very deep. The outfielders for both teams have been playing very deep, and you're going to see some of those hits.
Here's Elliott Johnson. Runners on the corners with 2 down.
So how many pitches is too many for this inning? Remember we talked about, yeah, the manager can manage the off days and minimize. It makes it easier to make this choice.
25 is my number. You can't get up in the 30s because then he might not be able to recuperate.
There's pitch number 21 as Simmons, uncontested, takes second. Johnson's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 2-1. It's 22 pitches now for Kenley Jansen.
I believe this will be his last hitter.
Well, see, now you got another question for Mattingly tomorrow in your manager meeting there, Cal.
My card's filling up right here.
He's going to lock that door by game 3.
He's always been fun to talk to.
Yeah.
I used to search him out in the All-Star games just to have these conversations with him.
Well, if they're gym rats in basketball, he'd be that equivalent in baseball, wouldn't he?
He thinks hard about the game. Not that he's reinventing it, but he thinks about all the different plays. He pays attention. He's a good baseball guy.
So baseball junkie when he played. Just lived it.
Dodgers a strike away. Wondering about the chances of teams that lead their league in strikeouts winning the World Series. Only one team in the National League has done that since 1969. That's a Big Red Machine in '76. Boston did it in 2004 in the AL, and the Tigers did it in '84. Braves striking out 14 times here in the opener.
So the Big Red Machine struck out a lot. I thought they never made any outs.
And there is strike 3 called. Fitting way for this one to end. Dodger pitching with 15 Game 1 strikeouts. And a 6-1 win in the opener.
Well, he did. Don Mattingly got exactly what he wanted tonight. He got an unbelievable performance from his ace, Clayton Kershaw. He got a couple of hits from Yasiel Puig. He got a big home run from Adrian Gonzalez. And 2 out RBIs to add on.
First postseason win as a manager for Don Mattingly. First postseason win on the mound for Clayton Kershaw. And the Dodgers come in and swipe the home field advantage from the Atlanta Braves in Game 1 of this best-of-5.
Well, you know it was going to be tough facing Kershaw. And I think all the baseball analysts out there it's a foregone conclusion he was going to beat him. But he struggled a bit, and he found himself. And
Adrian Gonzalez delivering a big 2-run homer in this one, and he's with Craig Sager.
Well, Adrian, that 2-run homer in the third gave you a 4-run lead. Obviously, a lot of innings to play, but how comfortable are you with a 4-run lead with your ace on the mound?
Oh, man, yeah. Giving him a 4-run lead, made us feel really comfortable. We know that, he's the best pitcher in baseball, and he showed it tonight. 15
strikeouts by the Braves. Obviously, that's not the way to win a ball game. You've been in situations like this. How do you adjust your swing, particularly in the postseason?
Just for me, I just study a little more, make sure I know what I'm doing at the plate, have a great plan, and try to execute it. So for me, it's all about game planning and just going out there and looking for a pitch that I make myself look for.
Your home run was off an off-speed pitch. You were looking for that?
Absolutely.
When you talk about the team, obviously, we talk about Yasiel Puig. His first game here in the postseason. Had a couple of hits. He got hit by a pitch, but he kept his composure. What did you expect out of him tonight, and how did you think he played?
Exactly what he did out there today. That's what I expected out of him. You know, he's a guy that a lot of people talked about his mistakes, but right now he's up to it, and people talking bad about him, zero. So he's a guy that's going to give us great energy, great enthusiasm, great at-bats, and he's going to be a big factor for us for sure.
All right, great start. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, EJ.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Only 3 outfield putouts in this game. When the Atlanta Bats really struggling against Clayton Kershaw, Brian Wilson, and Kenley Jansen. Atlanta 2 for 17 with men on. Back to wrap things up on Game 1 right after this.